Hi there. In this exercise for PT4 we are doing the cost estimation using very simple Excel spreadsheet, but the main idea is that you just get inside the set of mind that how to plan resources according the whole project schedule. So you have to make sure that you are doing the work and a little bit thinking what you are aiming for during the project, and you have to put your own resources in order so you can get some kind of understanding how things are happening during the project, and if you can get this amount of resources what is needed, and then you can count the sum of the whole cost structure. As I said, this example is quite simple, but the main purpose is that get your in a mindset that you understand what is the problem when you go in real life cases. Okay, I take my face away and focus on just on this Excel. So the example Excel file is quite simple, as I said, and let's do some first tuning. So the start point is that you are planning for doing this cost estimation for your project, so you have to name your project anyway. So my project is project X, PRX, and my name in this case is my nickname and my real name. And today it's 17th of January 2022. Okay, so what we have to first do, we have to take this example of, wait a moment. So I open this example and data what we are needing. So this is the place where you should go. Wait a moment. We are starting from our assignment in this spring, that we have to read about what kind of team we have. We have several people on this team, and I take just an example of Maija Keskinen here, and I add Maija in my team. So our first resource for the project is Maija Keskinen, who is coming from as a service designer, if I read correctly. So there is also, we have asked her already that how much time he can spend with the project. So this information is also founded from this table. So it's 50 hours. So she has done some kind of resource allocation, and this is somehow misguiding you a little bit, but the idea is that we have already asked how much they can spend time for this project. So this is a little bit absurd somehow, but we are just focusing on to collect this whole resource pool and then try to think about how to use that best way. So because this is simple exercise, it's just giving you the hint how project manager has to think about what is needed and when. So this is focusing on a little bit different situation than that just situation that you are doing the whole estimation and then you are doing the resource allocations. So it's possible that Maija is using lower amount of time if you are expecting that there is no such a need, 50 hours, 20 hours enough. So that's why it's situation that this time allocation for the project can be the highest amount which they can offer. So we think about that. Let's use all hours. Let's use all what they can deliver. Then we are looking at our schedule. So our project is a bit longer than just 6 weeks. And we were also talking about using the sprints. So if we are doing this week planning, we are using the week names or numbers. We can also use this as a sprint. Sprint 0, I put it here. And now I just copy this sprints there. So I have now sprint 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And as you remember, there was need for extra sprint. So I will add some new sprints also if I am needing those. So I am expecting that there is some needed more, and you have to do according your own project. This is just an example, not getting the whole picture, as you can see. We have also planned that there is some goals what we have to aim for our project, and it's better to think about that there is someday goal 1. It's not just the first sprint of the project. It can be, for example, here, and then we are taking away this goal, and we are planning in this example that goal 2 is reached during sprint 5, and goal 3 is in sprint 8. So you have to do your own planning according this time schedule what you have been doing. So this could be very nice moment to check your project plan and think about what is your schedule. And when you are planning these goal days during the week, in Finnish etappipäivä. So now we have doing this in a smaller scale, so I just use several sprints. And as you remember, one sprint in this case is 1 week of work. It could be 2 weeks or 3 weeks if we are in real life, but in this course we are thinking that one sprint is equal with 1 week of time, work time. Now we clean this values here away. Let's go through the idea totally from the scratch. So we have a person, he can use maximum 50 hours. Let's check another person's, just in example. So we have also Matti Urri, and I add Matti also in the list, and then I check how much he can spend, 150 hours. So I'll tune that value of wrong cell. 150 hours. And we have now 2 persons in an Excel sheet. We can take these values away. Next thing what we have to think about is that how much costs 1 hour of work for certain dedicated person. How much each of them are costing to come to customer. So the reality is that every different kind of work profiles are costing different sum of money. It depends on the situation. If there is not enough service designers or graphic designers or security testers, coders, salaries can be higher. It depends on the place, location, where are you living, where are you working. So we have just put some values there, and when you go to the assignment, you will find what is the costs for the certain kind of work profile. So programmer in this case is 75 euros per hour. There is taxes and all other things which are changing the price tag, but anyway, in this case we are using Matti Urali is working with 75 hours, 78 euros per hour. So the value is updated here, and now I have to check also Maya's value. Service designer is costing more, 80 euros per hour. So now we have some kind of understanding that these values and how much they are working with, how much the total cost we don't know yet, but let's see. So we are starting to think about how these persons are working during the project. And if we will look at a little bit the assignment still, so there is some ideas that what is happening during project and what has happened earlier. So if you look at what kind of things people have been using time with, we can find that service designer has been working in earlier in a project that there is need for gate before gate 1 is closed. It's meaning that service designer is most needed there, and that could be a good start point for you also, that we are checking our plan. It was gate 1. So it means that this period here is very valuable time to use Maya as a part of the project. And let's look at still if there still needs somewhere else. There is implementation. No other places in this project, or earlier we have been using so Arnold has been doing the projects earlier. Arnold has noticed that there is plenty of need service design for these first weeks of project. As you can see, this gate they can move in a longer project much many sprints later. So in this case, this is just a short example of time. So let's think about that. We use Maya's time first week. We put 10 hours of work, and then we put 15 hours, and then we have to do 25 hours, and now we are using 50 hours of Maya's whole work. And there is counter which is counting how much this usage of the hours has fulfilled. Now it's 100% used. So we can see that the whole time costs about 4,000 to customer, and there is work time for 50 hours. What does Maya is working with? We are not putting too much idea on that, what are the things, but you can look at the videos for the real persons who are dealing with this kind of common problems in what they are solving in real life. So you should look at those and think about what kind of things these persons are working with. But then we are checking Matti's background, and Matti is programmer, and he is making coding, and there is a certain kind of need of the chief programmer in this until first gate is fulfilled. It means that there is someone who is taking charge of the project and spending more time in defining how to make the coding. So there is more coming, and I expect that there is missing the person, but let's make the decision that the coders are needed just after gate 1. So there should be added tester, designer, and also coders until gate 2 and 3. So if they are now missing, they will be there later. But anyway, we are making the decision by themselves that let's start work with the coders. We are using Matti as a part of the team after goal 1, gate 1, whatever we are calling that. After that, we start to work with Matti, and Matti is part of the active team member, as an active team member during that. It's possible that we put Matti already starting the working during the sprint 2, and then we start to think about that it's almost 37 hours per week, and he's working heavily. And then we are spending a little bit shorter time, and now we can see immediately that Matti's resources are now over allocated. There is too much work hours divided, and when we have a knowledge that Matti can only use 150 hours in maximum, so we have to think about, can we move our resource allocation in a certain location that it's benefiting us best. So it means that there is some hours we can do this kind of small kind of tuning, but sometimes this is just micromanagement, nothing more. But only thing is that we are using Matti's resource during this period. That's the most important, because there can be another coders who are taking charge this period, or they are working simultaneously in the same period, and then we are starting a new phase in the end of the project time. But it depends. You have to make your own reservation, making sure that you are using all hours with Matti or other persons in the team. And now when we are counting these things together, so hours are now counted together, so price tag for this current situation that there is 2 persons working during this time period, so they are costing 15,250 euros to customer plus taxes or other costs. And that's the idea for this estimation. You are trying to build the understanding how you divide your using your resources and count the rest of the what is your estimation for the whole cost. And it can depend on your selections, but mainly you should use all available hours. So it means in this exercise that these are maximum hours which different persons can allow or work for the project. But when you have done these, I just put these price taxes here. So it depends at how many people and how much they cost. So let's put some kind of, okay, this 50 hours, but let's put 65 hours, 65 euros per each hour, so you can get understanding how much they are costing together to customers. So let's think a person 3 is working here 40 hours, 45, 45, 45, and there is 5 hours, and now the resource is used fully. If you want to think about that, okay, we don't use this person too much, we give him possibility to work for another project. Let's give 20 hours lower amount of time. It means that you are not using this person and you don't know yet how much is really needed, but you have to still make this kind of estimation how much you need these persons. But because this is a course and we are training or just learning to understand what is the biggest problem to understand is the how we are going to use and what is a reality when the costs are really coming visible. When these people are starting to work first weeks, for example, there can be a lot of things found during these weeks or sprints which are costing more time, and then we have to do re-estimation of the whole cost structure in the worst case. And these are just estimations to make sure that we have some kind of clue of the whole cost structure. So in this case, if this person 3 was able to work 150 hours, but we have decided that we don't use him there with a full resource 150 hours, but we are giving some kind of reservation that if there is something to do, we can raise in the end that okay, let's use that extra time or what we have what we can use, so our estimation is still valid. The maximum cost is there, but now we are using the whole resource fully. And this is the way what we have to do as a project managers. We have to somehow find what kind of structure and resource allocation is needed for the project. I don't go deeper with this one because you can just do your own estimation and count your understanding. Use the persons who are really connected with this case. Don't put other persons there. Put your own name also on the list. Remember, think about this is as a case which is real. It's not there just fun. But let's think also the idea that there is commonly there is persons involved in the project, but there can be also some kind of hardware or services, some premises, places, what is needed during the project, and it's possible that you have to somehow collect this information also and add it as a cost structure. For example, there is a certain kind of hardware which is not available so simple that you have to buy cloud service, some dedicated licenses for certain software, or just hardware components, measurement, what kind of tools is needed, and then you have to think about those. For example, in this case that you have to hire some extra tools and it costs 2,500 when you are using the full amount of that tool, and then you can make one unit cost somehow estimate that one unit is costing about, let's put some value that let's use first 500 units there, and then we add 500 units there, 500 units there, and then there is 1,000 units of that there. So we have put that one unit of this service usage is costing €1. For example, we are using a lot of cloud services, and the start point, this actually is not correct to think about. Let's put it this way, 250 and 250. So we are using that service in early phase a little bit and same amount, but then it's gaining, and in the end this is gaining highest level, and then we can count how much these unit costs are. Let's think about it, 2.5. Let's see what happens. Now we can show that some services are used during the project and how much they are costing also, and what is the price tag in the end of the whole. As we can see, this value is not updated, so you have to make sure that these values are collected in the right place. So now I have to check that where this car is coming, so I take this one, I update this structure. There is some fixes needed, but it means that R18. So now the price tag is updated, and you are able to also edit and update this. Now we have an understanding that these values are showing the whole structure for the whole project, and when you are adding more and more and using some all kind of resources what you are is assuming that there is need for, you just get the price tag and you can show to customer what is cost estimation for whole package when you are working with this amount of time. That's the simple Excel here. If you notice that there is no enough persons, you just add more lines here and you update your estimation, and you can make these additions, but you have to make sure that your macros are working correctly. So that's the one idea of the project estimation. Make sure that you are counting right values and the things are updating as they should. So please work for that and make some checkings and then release your result. Next thing, how you are going to deliver this. So I give you, you should now save this Excel file and upload that as a part of your repository. Put it in a root folder, for example. But if you want to take this picture, I search first for this my example GitLab page. I go for that first. So I show you my example of here. This is my project and I would like to send my example Excel file. So I just upload in this course. I save this file and I put the name. It's ready, and now I upload it in my example project. So I just add plus and new upload file, and then I go to fetch that file in a location where I was saving that, and now the document is part of my repository. So it's founded here and it's enough for that. But now I would like to put this picture visible in my project. So I am using in this case snipping. And if you have some kind of screen capture tool, you can use that, but I just use this my snipping. So I take my estimation from here as a screen capture, and then I will save it with a name. Let's put it in cost estimate. So I have now this file, and you can take a grids away and make it looking better or tuning up, but I would like to see this whole estimation and cost structure visible. So I go for my project plan page, and this is the place project management, and I upload my estimation here. So I take that file and upload it as an attachment. Now I have this picture also in my folder. I can also upload that Excel file in this same place, but it's faster to check that it's visible from the root. So I take now this download link and copy link address. So now I can rely on the link that I can find this picture. I go to the project management I take my project plan, it's a short project plan in this case, and I go a little bit down and I'm searching the place where is my cost. There is kustannusarvio, and I add my dates and take away this all and a little bit describe what is the cost structure and how it's done. So when I put it there, it should be found in this location. Now I have this estimation visible as a part of my project plan. So your work is to do this estimation looking like it's like real case. This value here is interesting. Count your own version and make sure that you have some kind of mindset that you are really focusing on how and when these people are needed for the project. Make your best guess. Thank you. Let's move and see another steps. Bye.